You're listening to the Profit Connections podcast. Entrepreneurs and franchise owners, you'll want to tune in. If you're looking to create a rock-solid business, sick of being stuck on the plateau, and ready to kick it up more than just a notch, you're in the right place. I'm your host, Sharon, and I believe in unleashing your full potential to create resilient, successful businesses that in turn make significant positive impacts in our world. Welcome to the Profit Connections podcast. Welcome back. This is a very special episode of the Profit Connections podcast, and I have some of my favorite guests joining us here today to celebrate 1 year of the Profit Connections podcast. So if you're watching us on video, you'll see a whole bunch of wonderful faces, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about how the podcast started, what the process was, and then I'm going to bring up one of the people who really was behind me starting this podcast altogether. And then we are going to interview some of our top 10 podcast guests that have been on the podcast previously and hear what's new with them, what they're up to now, and their best tips for you. And they all have a gift. So it's a very exciting episode today. So the Profit Connections podcast was they call it a Poda baby. I'll introduce Kimberly and we'll talk about exactly what that is. So Kimberly, I'm going to bring Kimberly Crowe up here. I'm going to spotlight you and we are going to, and it made me go away. That's okay. So Kimberly Crowe, tell us about Podapalooza, what a Poda baby is, and why I want you to be here to celebrate my 1 year anniversary.
Oh, Sharon, thanks so much for having me. First off, I just love what you're up to at Profit Connections. There's so much value in this podcast that has reached dozens and dozens of episodes. I think you're in the 40s or 50s now. And it's just been absolutely incredible to see it bring forth so many amazing guests that have real strategies, tactical strategies for helping people actually achieve profits. And I'm so delighted that you decided to launch during Podapalooza. Podapalooza is a one-day virtual event that happens 3 times a year. And we have another one coming up as of the recording of this podcast on March 18th, 2026. But we have the opportunity for people to come in and meet podcasters. Our VIPs actually get interviewed by our featured podcasters during the event, and our featured podcasters record back-to-back interviews with our VIPs. We do every once in a while have somebody that says that they want to launch a podcast and they haven't recorded any episodes yet, and they start working with my business partner, Michelle Abraham, and they decide to launch their podcast by recording their first 10 episodes on Podapalooza, which you did.
I did.
It was like amazing to watch. And then off you go into the wild blue yonder to create amazingness for people in the world. So I'm so happy to be a part of it. But really, the credit is all due to you.
Oh, thank you so much. It really was, it was an inspiration from being at Podapalooza as a guest.
Awesome.
I went to, and I was a VIP, so I was able to be interviewed, and the content that was there was so valuable. And something inside of me just said, you know what, I'm going to do this. And I honestly was terrified. The first time I started interviewing people, I was like, I don't know what's happening. I just kind of went with it. And I feel like I'm really good at it. I enjoyed it so much. I spent that first Podapalooza as a podcaster, I think recording for like 9 hours or something crazy like that. And at the end of the day, instead of being completely depleted, I was so energized. And I was like, this is the thing. This is what I need to be doing. So I really want to thank you, Kimberly, and your partner, Michelle. And we'll get Michelle up here to talk about what's new with her as well. So I just really wanted to thank you for being that springboard, that inspiration, and the thing that was that encouraged me to take that step, because it really was a step of faith. And I had to just step out and go, I'm going to do this thing. And you guys have been so wonderful. And I love Podapalooza. I've been back. And a lot of the guests that you're going to see on our anniversary episode were guests from Podapalooza. So it's a very exciting Podapalooza merge for me today.
I love it. I love it. Well, Chesty, you are absolutely amazing at what you do. I love your energy. I love what you're doing in the world. And thank you for it because you're helping a lot of people out there.
Thanks. Well, what we're going to do today that I'm super excited about, I did want to talk about Podapalooza, and I really want you to understand how powerful this event is. So check it out. We will put the links to that event in our show notes and in the portal so that you can get that. But do check it out if you're interested in podcasting at all. The format that we're going to do today is I've asked each of our experts to come in and share something with you, because I like to bring value to you. What can you use in your business? What can you do right now to make your business better? So I'm going to ask each of them to share something with you, and then they're going to also have a gift. So Kimberly, you are up first. Tell us what's new, what's good, and what do we need to know?
I love it. So if I were to give advice to my former self, which I wish I had, I really knew this. One of the things that I hear a lot from new speakers, new entrepreneurs, new coaches is I'm not ready yet, right? I don't have everything perfect yet. I don't have it all organized. I'm not really sure what to do. And one of my first mentors said, just launch, go, and then see what happens because you're going to change it along the way. And I was like maybe many of your listeners that I was like, oh no, I have to have it all organized first before I launch, right? And if we take a page out of Apple's book, do you have an Apple iPhone? Do you have any Apple products or anything like that?
I have all Apple products.
Right. So when I got my first iPhone, I bought the iPhone and it was expensive. And I got it home and I got I got all the updates on it and everything, and started using it, loved it. And then a couple weeks later, it said we have an update. We need to change some stuff. So click here and get the update. Of course I did. And I was like, yes, that's awesome. And then a couple weeks later, maybe a month later, it said, we have a new update. We'd like to give you an update for this. And I was like, oh, yes. And later in life, as I was an entrepreneur, I was like, well, if Apple can launch something that's not perfect, that needs updates every 2 to 5 weeks, then why can't we do that too, right? Like, why can't we launch before we're ready? And I think that's been my methodology for the last many years. And I've thought, this is something that if the big guys can do it, then we can as well. Just get out there, get your product out there. And then as you learn new stuff, as you want to add new pieces to it, as you want to develop it more, as you want to make it more user friendly in your coaching program, if you will, then just do updates along the way. So it's not failure, it's just iterative. And that's my tip for folks today.
Oh, that's amazing. I love that. And I love that you pulled it back to something we can look at and go, oh, of course Apple does updates. Yet we never think about it that way in our businesses. So, oh, that's amazing. I have a little bit of chills right now. That was really good. That got me the goosebumps. Thank you, Kimberly. That was wonderful.
Thank you,
You also have a gift for our audience. Would you like to talk about that?
Absolutely. So if you guys are a little bit nervous about where you are in your speaking career, I would encourage you to go to the Mike Mastery Scorecard. You can find it at MikeMasteryScorecard.com and take a little assessment. Find out what you're already amazing at as a speaker and what you might want to brush up on a little bit. It's got sort of it runs the gamut of everything from a beginner speaker to somebody who is a professional on stage on a regular basis. And you might want to check it out to see where you are and what you might want to do next.
That's awesome, Kimberly. And I did actually skip over something because I was so excited about talking about Podapalooza. Before I let you off the stage, would you tell us a little bit about Kimberly Crowe and what you're doing and why they need to listen to you? Because you do. Kimberly's amazing at what she does. I've learned so much from her and I love being in her communities. So Kimberly, tell us a little bit about what you do and what the opportunities are with you.
Awesome. Yes. Well, I am, for those of you I haven't met yet, I'm delighted to meet you through Sharon. She is an amazing connector. And it's a privilege to be able to be here with you today. I'm an international inspirational public speaker. I've had the privilege of speaking on over 5,000 stages, including TEDx in Las Vegas. And I'm the co host of Podapalooza, along with the co host of Speakers Playhouse. And we launched the Influencers Cruise with Michelle Abraham as well, and several other things that help you as a coach or a speaker or a creative or a healer get to that next level by getting visible.
That's thank you so much for I apologize for not asking that first, but you really need to be in Kimberly's orbit. If you want to get on a stage, if you want to be able to connect with people in these different areas, please check her stuff out. I'm also going to include a link to Speakers Playhouse. It's a weekly event. If you're a speaker, you need to be there. She has over 1,000 stages that she opens up opportunities for people to be seen, to even say their name and what they do. And every week, it's the best 90 minutes of your week. And it's really amazing. So thank you so much, Kimberly, for everything that you do. Thank you for being my Poda mama. And thank you for all the resources and tips and expertise that you've gifted into my life. And thank you for gifting it into the lives of our listeners.
Well, thank you for saying that. You may want to mention that you've actually been an international speaker yourself, because she spoke on a cruise ship and blew the audience away. So if you definitely stay in touch with Sharon, I would love to connect with you as well. But you are in good hands in Profit Connections. I'm Kimberly Crowe. Cheers.
Thanks, Kimberly. Okay. So that was amazing. Kimberly is so much fun. Being in her orbit is just amazing. So again, if you have any interest in speaking, I was on the speakers cruise, and it was really great. And I am an international speaker. Now I'm going to bring up to the stage our next guest. And if you did not catch this episode, I'm going to let you know that Danielle Benzon, her episode was episode number 6. She was my 6th guest. And we had the best time. It was a lot of fun, a lot of laughs. It was one of my favorite episodes because we just vibed and we had a good time, and we got a lot of value out of that as well. So if you want to check out her original episode, it's episode number 6. You can go back and check that out. And we have her here today. So Danielle, tell us about yourself, give yourself an intro, and then let's talk about what's new with you.
That's so cool. I didn't realize I was number 6. 6 is my lucky number. I remember meeting you on Podapalooza, and it was so amazing. And I am also a huge Podapalooza fan, so I just want to put a shout out to Kimberly and anyone. Just go there. It's so amazing. It's like it's so full, but you leave energized, not exhausted.
Yeah,
it's so great.
Absolutely.
So I am a voice and speaking coach. So I work with speakers. I help people who are maybe a little bit scared of speaking to fall wildly in love with the sound of their voice on stage, on camera, in the networking room, wherever you are, and to really just enjoy being yourself on stage and on camera, because I think that's something that we are maybe missing a little bit in our world at the moment. So that joy and that fun, that's my speciality, as well as mastery, of course, because technique is important. What's new since we last spoke is I might be launching my own podcast. Not might be, I am, with Michelle Abraham in the next couple months. So that's exciting. And I will also be at the next Podapalooza. So I'll see you there.
Awesome.
Woo.
Well,
yeah. So
I'm really excited to hear that. And Danielle brought up a point that she kind of glossed over it a little bit. One of the biggest fears that people have is public speaking. And one of the things that people hate the most is the sound of their own voice when they hear it recorded. So the fact that you are actually tackling those two huge things is really powerful. That's the hurdle you need to get over. And then she's going to help you with technique and getting better and using your voice in a most magnificent way. So thank you.
And it should feel good. not only, you want it to sound good, but you want it to feel good as well. Like
Yeah.
speaking should feel good. It should. It's a joyful act of expression.
This from the actors in the room. Yes. Joyful. It's my voice. Oh, love it. So tell us give us a tip or something that you're working on right now that you think that we need to know.
Well, it's so funny because my tip's very similar. I'm going to just jump on Kimberly's bandwagon. There are so many people who are held back because they think they're not ready. And I want to add to Kimberly's message of, if you do feel like you're not ready and you're like, oh, I want to speak, but I'm scared. I want you to remember that the thing that makes you special is also the thing that you're kind of weird and quirky and all that stuff. That is what makes you charming. That is what makes you relatable. So stop trying to be perfect. Throw perfect out the window. Perfect is boring. No one wants it. And the more you lean into who you are and your enthusiasm and being unapologetically yourself, yes, technique is important, but technique is there to highlight and strengthen who you are. It's not there to replace who you are. It shouldn't be more important than your gorgeous, wonderful, weird, wacky, unique light. It's there to support that. So if you are feeling like, well, I don't know where to start, or, I'm not feeling super confident, lean into what makes you different. Lean into what makes you excited. I can guarantee you, I have a few rules for speaking, but one of my most important rules is that interested people are interesting. So as long as you are allowing yourself to feel, embody your interest and let it out, let your enthusiasm out, you will be charming and people will love you. It doesn't matter how many times you say, no one cares, So
I purposely
piece of
keep the
advice.
in this podcast.
Yeah, they're real.
And by stumbling over my own words, because sometimes my brain and my mouth don't work at the same speed. It's okay.
It's totally okay. It's human. It's natural. We're used to it. That's how we talk. It's fine.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
And I love that, that you're really, that people think that I need to be someone else. And I can be, when I'm learning, I'm very left brained. I'm normally a right brained person. When I'm learning, I'm very left brained, and I get very caught up in doing it right, doing it how they said, following the rules. And that has oftentimes got me stuck until I remember, the rules are the rules, but it's also me. I need to bring me into the conversation, into what I'm doing. So I really appreciate that reminder.
Rules are made to be broken, baby. Just do it consciously. Don't break rules flippantly. Break them with purpose. Break them with intention. And then it's even more powerful than if you were following the rules.
I love that. I love that. Well, Danielle, do you have a gift for our listeners today?
I do. I have a little mini me. Not quite a mini me. I wish. I wish. I have a speaking coach in your pocket. So my speciality is the delivery of speech, your expression, your projection, your vocal health, those kind of things. And your body language and what message you're putting out into the world. And so I have a little speaking coach in your pocket. It's a guide. It's a kind of series of tools. It's a toolkit that will help guide you through whatever you are working on at the moment. So it's got a little kind of focus depending on whatever you're working on. There's something for you, because you can't do it alone. You want to be supported, but you don't always have a speaking coach around, so you can carry me around with you, and you're never alone that way.
I love that. That's amazing. Thank you. Thank you for that generous gift. I love what you do, and I love how you are empowering people to be their authentic selves and giving them the tools to just be more them and not try to be somebody else. That's such an inspiration. Thank you, Danielle.
Thank you so much.
Yay. And thank you for being here for my anniversary. Yay.
Happy anniversary. I forgot to say.
Thank you.
So excited. Thank you so much. Really
You're
appreciate
so welcome.
it.
Thank you for being here. All right. Next up, I have Michelle Hammons. Hammons with an S. Thank you so much for being here to celebrate the 1 year anniversary of the Profit Connections podcast. And you, my friend, were episode number 23. So if you want to go check out Michelle's original episode, it's episode 23. You can find that in our portal. You can find it anywhere where you can find your podcast. That's her episode. And everyone that I invited back for this anniversary episode they were our top 10 podcasts. So I'm really excited. Thank you for being here the first time. And thank you so much for coming back. Tell us what's new, Michelle.
Sharon, thank you so much for having me. Wow, a year has gone by so fast. And I just celebrate you for implementing your vision and your idea. And I know we met on Podapalooza. And so that was my first time experience with that. And it was so it was so great getting to meet you and to be a part of just getting a message out. And we all have a message. And so I'm excited to be back for 2026 because there's even more exciting things happening where we're going in this year.
So Michelle, tell everyone a little bit about yourself, how you got here, and what do you do?
Sure. I'm an executive and high performance coach, meaning I work with business owners, entrepreneurs, founders, solopreneurs, corporate executives on really understanding what's important to you. And we all have goals. That's one level, but we go so much deeper in coaching, working on really not only what is important from a business or personal standpoint, but are you really on the right runway? Are you really working towards the things that are going to lead to the outcome of joy, fulfillment, the kind of relationships you want, the kind of business you want, the kind of health you want? And so it is holistic because you can't take one away and otherwise the wheel of life, right? It gets a little clunky. So right. I work with owners, primarily business owners all the time, trying to hold that balance and trying to make sure you have the clarity of what that is.
I love that. And, especially as business owners, we get singularly focused on what we're doing in our businesses. And then sometimes, the other plates that we're spinning get out of, we drop them, the family, the kids, the recreation, things that we're doing for our health. All of those things are, when we get focused on one area and we don't have that balance, it really does get very clunky and hard to maneuver through all of that. And then on top of that, there's the guilt of, oh, I'm not doing everything I'm supposed to be doing. So the work that you do is really important and remarkable because not only do you help people figure out that balance and how to do all of those things, but to do it in such a way that it's healthy and that you're not running up against that, I'm failing, I'm successful here, but I'm failing everywhere else. So I think that's a really powerful angle to come to it as, because we think that everything needs to be balanced exactly, like everything needs to be, 25, 25, 25, 25. And that just because it's balanced doesn't mean that that's where all our focus goes, right?
So important. And so I know when we talked before, we were talking about the importance of measuring what you like in your life, measuring what you don't. In business, it's the same thing. It really is the same in both houses is what I like to call them. But there's a really hot tip that I would love to share with listeners for 2026. Because never before in history have I been more excited coming from a technology background. Entrepreneurs, they have a new advantage, baby. There's something so exciting coming for our entrepreneur family and listeners. And it's called AI. And whether you like it or whether you don't like it, I promise you it's already a force working in your life that you are not going to be able to stop. You are not going to be able to control. But as an entrepreneur, it gives you an edge like you've never had before in your life or history, because you literally can have a virtual assistant called AI that does a lot of these lower tasks that maybe you never get to the important work, or maybe you're aspirational and you never quite can touch that next level, right? And so getting this automation in place for you is so critical as an entrepreneur. I'm super excited. I've always been a technology nerd my whole life. I spent most of my corporate career there. But I will tell you, this like re-excited me where I've been losing like sleep because it's like that state of flow that never ends because it's like, oh, it's a wonderland of possibilities. And that's an exciting thing for people who are business owners today. There's a new edge that you've never had in your life.
That's awesome. I love that. And what I love is that what you've been doing has not necessarily been technology based, and you have that technology love, and now you're able to pull all of those things together and make it even more exciting.
Yeah, it actually, from a career perspective, I spent almost 25 years in corporate technology. And then I left to become a coach because I knew I have personal business in my family and it's just in my DNA. I couldn't get it out of my blood, is what I say. And so the last 10 years, I've mostly focused on coaching. And so this AI sprung up and is like, oh, it's the perfect marriage of skill set. But it is an exciting time. And if you haven't considered what that looks like for you on a personal level and a professional level, you should be learning and talking to someone about it. And coaching is such a great avenue to do that.
Yeah, I love that. Well, do you have a gift for us, Michelle? Because I heard that you do. AI told me. No, I'm just kidding.
I do. And so I have an assessment tool, and it's a great tool to do some self-reflection. And it's intended and purposeful to ask you some very important questions. So this is the time that we never take, right? And so sometimes I know there's probably somebody listening who's like, oh, it's another assessment. But I'm telling you, these are very crafted questions to help you get the clarity and specificity you need that are going to challenge you to look at things differently. And so if you don't take time out to do that for yourself, then you're probably going to miss out on some opportunity for all these great things you can have at a next level in your life. So it's my gift because it also comes with a session. If you want to schedule a time after you look at your results, you can do that. But if you've never sounded that out with somebody who professionally, I'm not talking about mom or dad or spouse or friend, that's not what we're talking about here. When you do an assessment and you do that self-reflection and you have somebody who has the experience to know how to guide you, it can take you wherever you want to go. So I really am excited to be able to give this gift to your team.
Oh, thank you so much. That's really great. And I encourage everyone to get these gifts from our speakers because they know what they're doing. And it's not just throw spaghetti at the wall. I was talking to somebody about that earlier. It's not throwing spaghetti at the wall. This is very honed and very purposeful for getting you where you need to go and really looking at what you're doing and how you need to make adjustments, and then talk to an expert about what's that next step, because sometimes we do go, okay, I have the information, now what? So I appreciate that there is a next step where they can actually talk to a real human being about those results. So thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, Sharon. I am so excited you hit your 1-year anniversary. Thanks for having me back.
Oh, it was my pleasure. Thank you. So next on our stage, I'm so excited to bring Chu-Hung back to our stage. She is an absolute powerhouse. Her episode number was number 8. It was one of our top performing episodes last year. And she has such a powerful message. And I'm so thrilled to bring her back to the stage again. So Chu-Hung, would you please tell us about yourself? Let everybody know what you do and how you do it. And then we'll get into your tip.
Yeah, and it's almost like, it's interesting. That's a sign that I've put myself on mute for so long, over 10 years, lots of procrastination, and there was reasons of not good enough. And so you were my Porter mama that brought me to be visible in a podcast and to share things that, to me is like, no, I can talk about this and not that. And I can see why, because, there are people that can be involved. I don't want to be respectful. However, I know that the soul work I have to do means that I just have to share it, right? Because when I share it, and I'm going to say that I'm not alone in this, hopefully that will help a lot of people. Yeah, so that's why. So thank you very much. And I also want to celebrate you.
Thank you. Yay.
Yeah. And it's interesting. My episode was number 8. And number 8 is very powerful for me because I'm the 8th in my family. number 8.
Wow.
And yeah, and in Chinese numerology, number 8 means prosperity, wealth. Yeah. And
Oh,
then when you
see, it was all meant to be.
and then when you flip it to the size infinity, so it's infinite possibilities, right? So
Oh,
if all
love it.
these amazing signs, already all lined up, and guess what, right? Many of us, we stop ourselves, and whatever reason it is, it's all right, However, we say just for right now, and the question then is, what do you want to do about it, right? And I'm
Right.
so glad that I'm able to strive on, and I can't believe when I got your email saying top 10, I'm like, oh, me
Yes.
to you. I'm like, I did it because I just needed to be. And this is, I think, the value of you get something going. It was imperfect, but however, just go and let, hold I know this is what they say with anything you want, right? Hold it with a commitment, however, hold it loosely and let it float and see whoever it serves and see what happens. And this is to me such a, for me, right. I can't remember the word, but it's like a saying. They say, yeah, keep going, know what your North Star, your big why is. And so I appreciate that. So many come from that. So thank you.
Well, I
And
appreciate you being imperfect with me. It was you were an early interview for me, and you were just so much fun and so relatable. And what you talked about was so valuable, and our listeners knew that, and they listened to your episode. So I really thank you for that. So tell us a little bit about what you do.
yeah, so having struggled with even though I finally got my business going, it's like, oh my gosh, spending over 60 plus hours, right, in my business and doing a lot of sacrificing with family and friends and fun and all that. And, I love my clients, but, and I say, oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed. I'm so burnt out. My passion becomes, bleh. I'm like saying, maybe getting a paycheck is becoming very attractive.
Yeah.
And so it's all right. So, I went there and then realized that what is my game, my soul work, the reason why I'm doing this. And this was where the important thing is to know, help, SOS, right? Make sure that, because if you try to do it on your own, forget it. Yeah, you may be able to do it, but what's the cost of all those years and stuff like that?
Right.
And so now what I'm doing is that I have a lot of people who have been 2 to 4 years in business. They understand the juiciness about business, but they also understand the pain and struggle, right? All the stressful hustling and everything. And I say, there gotta be a way to do it. We hear about people doing ease and flow. I'm like, say, and then my geeky mind goes into place, say, let me figure this out. And so now I support a lot of coaches, speakers, transformational leaders to really have a 6-figure business guaranteed within 2 years.
Wow.
And using soul-aligned client strategies. I want to share a tip today, which I'm very excited about.
Tell
if
us.
I can. Yeah. So we know that. So for me, it's like, we hear about this, about identity a lot, right? Here you are, let's say you're 4 or 5 figure, you want to be 6-figure. And for some of you, it's yeah, no problem, go. But many people I say, wow, what does it take, right? So here is the gap, right? Here you are, you have conscious mind, so happily saying, ooh, I want to be a 6-figure earner and blah, 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 blah. And that's powerful. And that's your goal setter. However, there's a part of you that says, oh my gosh, how am I going to do it? I don't want more stress. I might get in a broken relationship, all that. And so the thing is, how do you then get the part of you that can help you go, the goal getter to support you, which is your unconscious mind, is the engine that can really feel, and the engine that can support you to have, new beliefs and take actions and build momentum. So we have this already. So a lot of people, you want to use it very intentionally. So the way I see is that imagine your unconscious mind, you have a folder, and the folder say your amazing business, right? And in the folder is like business tactics. You got check. What about the piece that can help you support on the internal part? And this is where the power of visualization. Here is something that if you want to get into the resonance of that 6-figure person, how do you do that when you, in reality, I'm struggling, I'm like this, right? And so we suggest is that in service of reaching your big goal, you have a lot of activities you have to do, right? Like in a day, there are many important things. Be like for me to be be a speaker, go to networking event, blah, 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 right? What if you do a mini visualization 1 to 2 minutes before the important event, before the podcast, before the interview and all that, and get yourself into such a state of your six-figure, where you feel so powerful, where you feel so confident, where you feel so excited and hopeful and all that, and then go into the event. Won't you say that you're like in this glowy place? It's like you're internal,
Yeah.
like, right? And we're
Yeah.
not talking about everything, just this little event. And so keep doing it, you build a resonance. And before you know it, there is a nerve called the vagus nerve, which is the part of your parasympathetic nervous system that is your most powerful communication highway between your brain and your body and and everything that's energetic. And so if you then charge this vagus brain, okay, I want to feel like I'm excited about this, I know what outcome I want to it. The vagus nerve then feeds, in connection with your goal getter, will suddenly say, we're going to be your biggest allies and what are your cheerleaders to support you. And so that's how you then, and then the most important thing, the most juicy part for me is that we all say we don't have time, right? And so I say, well, when you do this, if you think it takes more than, how many years do you think you need to be six figures? Some people say maybe 3, 4 years, whatever. I say, well, what if by doing this exercise, every activity, even if you just do one, but then you do more and more because you're going to get addicted to it, then suddenly you collapse the time. And what you reach for actually come closer to you. It's like your timeline is here. This one just woo, and it's all due to that quantum manifestation. I'm like, oh.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for that. Do you have a gift for our listeners today?
Oh, absolutely. I can't tell you this juicy thing and not say, how do you do it, right?
Yes.
So yes, my gift is called Achieve Your Goal to fast track your goals. And in there, you're going to get the cheat sheet. Some people like to read, so I give a lot of reasoning because there's a part of our conscious mind that need to understand why it's important. And then, but also have a 2 audios actually. One of them specifically for networking events because we all have to go networking, right?
Love that. Yeah.
So we use that. And then I have one. There's once you understand all the reasons, the next one is very fast. I would guide you through it, and then just tune me in. Not tune me out, tune me in for a few minutes before the event, and then that's it. And as you do it, so as yeah, I would say that stop doing things that's not working because that's definitely the definition of insanity and poverty of financials, of relationships, of fun. And so, and as someone say, go for the moon. And if you just get the stars, that's pretty good too, right?
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Shuhung, for being here. You're always a bright light and have so much energy and excitement. I love it. Thank you for being here and celebrating our 1-year anniversary of the Profit Connections podcast. I really appreciate you.
Congrats again.
Thank you. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Lori McDowell. Lori McDowell was actually episode number 4. She was my very first guest on the Profit Connections podcast. And folks, she was our #1 most downloaded episode for all of my guests. Lori, you're #1.
How exciting. Thank you so much, Sharon. I'm so happy I could get here. Sorry, I was a little bit late, but I got here as soon as I could.
No, you're perfect. You're perfect. I really appreciate you being here. And the way that what we're doing, Lori, is I'm not reading your bio. I'm going to give you the opportunity to talk about who you are and what you do. So we're going to start there because you might have a little bit different information than you did on that first interview that we were episode number number 4. So Lori, tell us what's new and what's good.
Yes, I have changed a lot what I did from that first episode, number 4. And what I did today, it's still in the same vein. My why is that we all are meant to live extraordinary lives. And that's everyone's purpose, is to be the most extraordinary you can. And that together we're going to create ripples that change the world. I was doing that through coaching, and I shifted a little bit because I love traveling. I love experiences. I love events. I love retreats. And what I do now is, while I host my own retreats, I also do what I call done for you and run for you retreats for successful 6-figure plus business owners. So if you already have a business, you have a bit of an audience, you thought about having a retreat, but you didn't want to deal with the work and the logistics and the planning and the filling and all that stuff, I help do all that for you so you can just show up in your magic. And I love it because I feel like I'm catalyzing other people to have their own retreats. And in doing that, my impact grows, because it's not just the people I'm bringing to the retreats, but it's my clients and the people they're bringing to the retreats, and so on. So retreats are the perfect way to get more income, more impact, and more fun. And I think life should be fun.
That's so awesome. When you made your shift into retreats and destinations, so Lori can do a retreat locally to you, and she can also do destination retreats, which is so exciting. And she's stepped into this really powerfully and is taking all her expertise, all of the value, all of the things that she's brought to the table before, still there. She's just now adjusting it slightly. And she can also help you with the content of the retreat, because I really want to do a retreat, but what are we going to do? And how long do we do this? And all of those kinds of things. She already has that figured out. So she will help you with all of those cool things that have to do with the retreat. So if you just have a retreat on your heart, or that's in your business plan for 2026, or that's where you want to go for your next level goal, you need to be in Lori's orbit, because she is amazing at this.
Well, thank you, Sharon. Yeah, one of the things that's really fun that I've just started doing is sometimes people want to do a retreat and their biggest fear is, I don't know if I can get 10 people to come, or I don't know if I can get 12 people to come. Well, I have started doing done for you collaborative retreats, where I take people who own a business, but they have a similar clientele, but they do different things. So maybe one of them is a business coach, one of them is a mindset coach, but they have the same audience. And I will put 2 to 4 of them together, and we do a group retreat. And this way you only have to fill it with 3 to 4 people. And it's a great way where anybody can have a fun retreat. So I'm really excited to start that in 2026.
Ooh, that's really exciting, Lori. I love that. Lori, do you have a tip that you can share with our audience? It can be what you shared last time. It can be something new, just something that we can take into this new year and make our businesses more powerful.
Sure. I'm going to share a tip that one of my coaches, actually, when I asked him for a tip, gave to me. But I loved it so much, I made it my New Year's resolution. And this tip is always be the happiest person in the room. And I have been doing that since the new year. I just came from a doctor's appointment, and I swear I left and the people were smiling. When you try to be the happiest person in the room, everybody else, you're going to make everybody else around you happier. And we did this on Christmas Eve. We went out to dinner, and it was horrible. They messed up all our meals, didn't bring it. It took 2.5 hours, and we were all happy and laughing about it. And we practically got the whole meal for free. And if we had complained, we probably wouldn't have. So just try to be the happiest person in the room and just see what kind of magic that brings around you.
I love that. And especially as business owners, all of our endeavors and everything that we're going through, there's so much going on inside our heads, and there's so many moving pieces. And we talked to Michelle about spinning plates, and there's so much going on. It's so easy to be the grumpy person in the room, because you have really good reasons for being in the bad mood. But no one else knows that. So I love that, to be the happiest person in the room, even if there's 100 things going on in your own brain. I love that so much. Beautiful. I love that. So I love that you steal things and make them your own and share them with us. That was perfect. Do you
Yes, and you can all steal that if you want to. Go for it.
Yes. Do you have a gift for our listeners?
I do. I have a gift. It's called the Breakthrough Blueprint, and it's 7 powerful reasons why your vision needs a transformational retreat. And it really goes through and talks about, why your vision, your company, your purpose can benefit from a retreat and how to do that. And then once you download that, you're invited to book a free planning call if you're interested in talking about how you have a retreat. But this is, it's basically a little ebook that takes you through some of the benefits of having a retreat for yourself, your clients, your business.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I love that because I don't think that everyone understands the power of the retreat, and they're like, well, it's probably not for me. But you know what? Even if you think that's probably not for you, go ahead and download it, because if you go through her process, you might find out that it actually is that exciting next step that you want to add into the business that you have. Thank you so much, Lori. And thanks for being my number one guest.
Well, thank you. And I'm so excited for you. I'm really excited for year 2.
Yay. I am actually going to bring everybody back up that's been here so far on our video. And just have one more thank you. That's more than one. All of the thank yous to all of you for helping me have a 1-year anniversary of my podcast. I didn't even know this was something that I wanted to do. As I said before, I stepped into this kind of taking a leap of faith, and it has given me so many blessings, so many wonderful connections, meeting so many amazing people. And thank all of you for being here. I just realized I should have had one of those little noise makers to blow for the 1-year anniversary, but it just occurred to me. Oh, look, July has it. Oh, yay. Thank you all so much. You really have made this experience wonderful. And I know that you've given so much value to our listeners, and I hope that you have recouped some of that joy, energy, and value back into yourselves and your businesses. And I really do appreciate you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much again. And everybody have an amazing year.
All right, everyone, on 3,
Thank you so much, Sharon.
Unmute. Ready? On 3, we're going to go woohoo. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Woohoo!
Woohoo! Happy anniversary!
We could be our own noisemakers using our voices, right?
Totally.
Oh, she got solo on, folks. If you need a
Choo-hoong is bringing
party, go Choo-hoong.
Where's my dress up kit?
Yeah. I went to listen to a podcast, the number 8, and I was listening it. I was like, my God, were we laughing all the way? And that's what you bring, Sharon, the playfulness, the fun to the people that you serve. So go.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Now it's my pleasure to bring Michelle Abraham to the stage. She is my Podamama, my other Podamama. You already met Kimberly. And Michelle, thank you for being here. Thank you for helping me launch my podcast and get me into this journey. I really appreciate you.
Oh, you're so welcome. And I am so excited that this show is coming up on a year. So awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Now, Michelle, we've talked about Podapalooza already and how amazing it is. So if you're listening to this, check out Podapalooza if you're interested in having a podcast. Tell us a little bit more about what you do and how you help business owners.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. And I started as a podcast listener, and when I was a new mom, and I had this experience where I was transformed as a listener from a podcast. And it was soon after being a new mom, I was listening to the show, got my mojo back to get back into business and get motivated again. That little bit of a dark time after a baby is born where you're not sure.
That's a big transition.
Yeah, what's up or down. And I was like, if I had this experience, other people need to have voices that they can have this experience with too. So that's what got me started into podcasting. That was over 13 years ago. We've been launching launching podcasts ever since then. And our focus is really helping people create a business podcast. So it's like an asset for your business so that you're connected with conversations and clients and partners. And it just is a really cool thing that helps run your business in a way that feels authentic and real, and that people get to know, love, and trust you even before they work with you.
So when you say a business podcast, it's not like this podcast is about business. It's a business podcast about your business, whatever you do, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's like an asset for your business, and it's like a tool that you can use to connect with your customers, connect with people before they become your customers, and also connect with joint venture partners. So it helps. We call it the podcast ecosystem. So it really helps shows kind of grow faster, because we're not just relying on download numbers, but we're relying on the people that we're connecting and the relationships that we're building through podcasting, which is how Kimberly and I started Podapalooza. We met on a podcast interview, right? So that was just one interview, and now we've done 14 Podapaloozas, right?
Wow,
So
that's
the power of
amazing.
what could happen. Yeah.
I love that. And I love your approach to podcasting in making it strategic and not just, hey, here's a vanity metric thing that I have a podcast, but the way that you teach it and the way that you coach us through having a podcast is actually to grow on the partnership side, to grow on the client side, and to actually use the podcast as a medium to reach out and connect with the world in a way other than just, hey, here's my advertising. It's really cool.
Yeah. Can you imagine, like, I know your listeners are all business people. Can you imagine if your customers came to you, but already knowing the things that you repeat over and over and over again on sales conversations, or like before someone becomes a client, if they already know all those things, like, wow, it just makes that conversation, they show up, be like, yes, I'm ready. Let's go. No conversation needed. They know you
Awesome.
already.
I love that. Michelle, I almost called you Kimberly. I'm going to go ahead and leave that in because I'm all about doing things imperfectly. Give us a tip, something that we should know as business owners. What's the hot tip that you have for today that you want to share with everyone?
Yeah, I think the hot tip is, like, don't wait to get started. Like, just get going. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be like this big grand thing. It's just taking the action towards getting it started. We're so lucky with technology right now that having a podcast used to look like, I used to imagine this table with tons of microphones and cords on it, and this overwhelm and this like, now it's just like, open up your Zoom account, have a microphone here. I mean, this one was $49. This is a great one, and it's better than my $350 one, actually. And just press record and start going and having conversations. We love saying at Amplify You that, like, if you are not embarrassed by your first few episodes, then you waited too damn long to put them out there, right? You just got to get going, and everyone's embarrassed by those first ones. You get the hang of it, you get in the roll of it. After 20 episodes, you're like a pro. So that's really my hope for everyone, is that they just get started, and that your voice matters and it needs to be heard out there.
I love that. And yes, when I started my podcast, I honestly I jumped in and I started, and I was like, "Oh, I really like this. I'm kind of good at this." And now, a year later, those first few podcasts, I'm not totally embarrassed by them, but now I'm kind of getting it, and now I see what I need to do and how I need to change and adjust things. And yeah, the important thing was to just get started, and Podapalooza was a great place to get started.
Yeah, well, and you can think of those first 20 episodes as like your practice, right? You're trying to figure out, is it cats and dogs you want to talk about? Is it just dogs? Is it just cats? Is it like none of the above? Is it something else? And then that flow and rhythm. And we were just talking before this episode how you have some now ideas for strategy that are a little bit deeper than when you first got started. And that's perfect. And I love Braden, my brother, who is my partner at Amplify You. He used to say, podcasting is like evolving out loud. You're always changing, you're always evolving. And it stopped me from launching my show for 4 years, actually, because I thought I had to pick one thing and that's it, and it couldn't change. But now, knowing that you can evolve with you and with your business, like season 1 could be a little bit different than season 2, that's totally perfect and a-okay. And I love how you just roll with, like, even if you trip over someone's name, that's the more authentic you are, the more your audience is going to relate to you anyway. So that's great.
Awesome. And Michelle, I am really, really happy to have you here. I have gotten so much value from working with Amplify You, the expertise, the support, the when I have a question, how do I do this? What's going on? You and your team and Braden have been so amazing to work with over this past year. I really wanted to acknowledge you publicly for everything that you've done to help me bring this dream I didn't even know I had to life.
Well, thank you so much. And I just love, like, we get to work with the coolest people ever, like yourself. Like, we just love helping you guys see this thing, this vehicle that can help you in your business and seeing it come to life. For me, I feel like you call me a podcast mama, and I do. I feel like it's a birthing process to see it come, the idea or that you didn't know that you had. Then it was an idea, and then it comes to life. And now it's this like amazing tool that you have, an asset that you have in your business that can just grow with you as you evolve and growing your business, which is super cool. So we love working with clients like you, like amazing.
Thank you. And you have a gift for our listeners as well.
We do. We have a podcast playbook, which just kind of shares a little bit about our philosophies and our strategies for launching a podcast. It's a kind of different than how most people think about podcasts. A lot of podcasts hosts out there fade out after 20 episodes, and that's not something we want to happen. We really want to put a little bit of effort in that pre-strategy so that it is a business asset. It does work for you. It does help you grow your business. It does bring you new clients, new partnerships, and you can grow with it. And so that's what the podcast playbook is. Just outlines that a little bit, and it's a really great little read to have if you're thinking about doing a podcast.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Michelle. And we're going to put that into our community so that people can get access to that. And I'll give you all the details on that. Again, thank you so much for being here, Michelle. And thank you for helping birth this amazing thing that I put out into the world. And now it's a thing. And I couldn't honestly, probably would not have done it without you. So thank you.
You're welcome. I'm so happy to be here. And if you're thinking about doing it, know that your voice matters and that it's never too late. And if you don't want to be embarrassed by your first few episodes, get going.
Awesome. Thank you for being here for our 1-year anniversary. Now it's my pleasure to bring to the stage Christine Hebel. I've known Christine for a little over a year. We met in Florida, and actually I'm going back to that event soon. So we've known each other for a little over a year, and she is remarkable. She was on my original 20 episodes. She was actually episode number 15, one of my very first guests, and somebody that I think is amazing. What she's going to bring to you is amazing. And she's just a really true, down to earth, fun to be around person. And she's somebody that I really enjoy. So Christine, tell everyone about yourself other than all the cool stuff that I just said.
Oh, thank you so much. And I'm just, before we get going, I want to tell you how proud I am of you stepping into this space and holding it like a boss. So congratulations.
Thank you.
So my story real quick is that I had a son who started a business at 14, and the bank of mom and dad was, well, it just was not able to sustain that business. And I saw his dreams kind of fading away. And I'm sure that there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there that in the first 5 years can really relate to their bank accounts and how much weight that takes to hold a business, to get it up off the ground and get it from inertia into flow. And we were really blessed with someone who came down, had written millions of dollars in grants, and she taught my son how to write grants. And from that, then my community stepped in and asked for assistance. And what I found is that entrepreneurs, like, if there's something to take away from this little brief conversation, is that for-profit businesses are eligible for grants. They are out there. And I think this year, 2026 and on, that the government is realizing that the best way to infuse our economy is through our small businesses, because we are the backbone of the United States. And so there's going to be more and more grants that are for small businesses. It's not just a game that for nonprofit. It's not just a game that nonprofits get to play in. And the coolest thing is, when you get funded with a grant, it's money that you don't have to pay back. This is not like going and getting a loan. It's like free money.
I love that. That is my favorite thing about grants is that it's one direction. They give it to you and that's it. And sometimes there's reporting you have to do back. However, that money is yours and it comes to you and it's not a loan. You don't have to pay it back. I love that.
Yeah. So if people are interested in finding out more about what to look for in their grant, I invite them to go back and look at episode 15, where we talk about a little bit more in depth some of the things that they need to know about grants. Also, we've created a platform where we educate people on what funders are asking for that they don't really ask for. And then we have a whole suite of AI tools that make it fun, fast, and easy. You could be applying for a grant a week in under just about an hour a week. So,
Wow.
yeah, it's really fun. And we've had some really great successes.
Thank you so much for updating us and what's new and different. What is the tip that you have for our listeners for this anniversary episode?
Yeah, so here's the deal. The likelihood of getting funded is low, but here's the truth. You miss 100% of the swings you don't take. Babe Ruth statistically had more strikeouts than any other baseball player, and he still made it in the Hall of Fame. So the deal isn't to just write a grant and then sit and wait for it. The real secret sauce is, if it only took you an hour a week, why aren't you writing a grant a week? And at the end of a year, you have 52 grants that have been submitted. Statistically, you will have at least a couple of those that will be funded.
That is wow. That's a really great tip. And also the consistency of doing it once a week. And with your system, they can do it and not burn themselves out and not have to, learn the skill and the technique of the grant system, because your system actually takes that piece out or systematizes that piece so that you don't have to do the hard labor and the heavy lifting every time you write a new grant.
Absolutely. We were really lucky, really blessed. Les Brown stepped in. We did a live grant writing class a couple of weeks ago, and Les Brown came into the room. And one of the things that he said is the power of storytelling, of course, because he's Les Brown, right? He's the master. But the other thing that he said that really made sense is to get into a community that helps keep you motivated and accountable. And also you get the feedback from them. So that's another really great thing that we offer, is we have a super fabulous community of people that are doing the things, and we keep each other motivated and we have fun.
That's amazing. Well, you have a gift for our listeners, I heard, Christine. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I have created, it's called the Ultimate Grant Kickstarter. There's a lot of people who don't have some of the fundamental things in place. And so we created a small system that we sell for $4.97 on our website. And for your celebration, I would like to give everybody $300 off.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Sharon.
Thank you, Christine. That's amazing.
So if they are interested, how would you like, the coupon is profit for your group, because you're all about the profit and teaching people. And you'll have a place where they could go and sign up.
So what we're going to do is we're going to take all that information. We're going to put it in the portal, which is profitconnectors.club. And all of the gifts from all of our guests from our anniversary episode are going to be in there. And you'll be able to find that. We'll have the link and the discount code so that you can get that amazing deal. So thank you so much, Christine, for being here to celebrate with me.
Awesome. I'd also like to offer a free download of 5 tips that everybody needs to know about grant writing. And they can get that by texting 26786. and I'll send you some other cool information as well. So thank you, Sharon. You are
the
amazing.
gifts are coming in from everywhere. I love it. We're having the anniversary. You're getting the gifts.
Well, thank you for everything you do for our community of entrepreneurs. It is better to learn from somebody else who's walked that mile than to walk it and try and figure out what you did.
Yeah.
So thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank you so much. And I'm going to let you get off the stage. And thank you so much for joining me.
Congratulations.
Hey, Profit Connectors, that's it for another Profit Connections podcast. If you're ready to make moves and connections that take your business to the next level and get your gifts and resources, head over to the website profitconnectors.club. That's profitconnectors.club and get your goodies right now.